down to the locker room, and then when I go down there, they want to talk to me. You want to talk to me, you should come up here, just like you guys.
Joining us from UConn, head coach Gino Auriemma, student athletes Paige Beckers and Ashlyn Shade. The format will be as follows. Opening statement from coach. We'll then move to questions for the student athletes, followed by questions for coach. Please wait for the microphone. State your name and affiliation before your question. Also, please silence your cell phones, and any recording of this press conference is prohibited. I would be remiss if I didn't wish Coach a happy birthday. Coach, the floor is yours.
Thank you. You know, from a coach's perspective, it's been like this from the very, very first NCAA tournament ever that we've played in. You can just wait. Leading up to the game is excruciating because all the things that run through your head about, you know, did we do a good job scouting these guys? Did we do a good job? We don't know enough about them, you know, la, 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 la. We're going to take them like, there's so many things that go through your head. And I don't care whether it's this year you're a 3 seed and you're undefeated in 1995 when we're getting ready to play Maine in the first round, you know, and you're scared to death that, you know, something's going to happen. So I'm thrilled that this one's out of the way and it's over with. Obviously, these two and Aaliyah were just magnificent, and that's what you need. You know, we talked a lot about it before. I think yesterday we said if Ash makes a couple threes tomorrow, if Nika makes a couple maybe, and then we're going to be fine. If those guys have trouble making shots, then it's going to be a long day for us. And obviously, you know, these two did what they're good at, and Aaliyah did what she's good at. And if we can keep that up, then we're going to be okay.
Questions for the student athletes? Right here on the left, fourth row, Lori.
Lori Riley, Hartford Current. Ashlyn, could you just talk a little bit about playing in your first tournament game, and was everything just going right for you tonight?
It was definitely really exciting. I had a lot of like nerves and like this anxious feeling before the game, like when I went to bed, when I woke up. But no, to step out on the court and going through the starting lineup to hear like how loud our crowd was, like I just felt like it was a dream. Like it was such a surreal moment to be out there, and it was just really exciting.
Question up front from Pat.
Paige, can you just talk about winning this game on your coach's birthday? I assume that was a big emphasis for you guys not to let one go on his birthday, and what it means and what he means to you guys.
Yeah, it's a lot better feeling when you win it, especially on a special day for him. We want it to be a special day. I know if we lost, it would no longer be a special day. So to get this win, especially on his day, is really huge. But to continue to keep advancing in the tournament. And coach is everything for all of us. He's like our grandpa. But no, it's just I've learned so much under him. We've all learned so much under him. But it's not just stuff on the basketball court. It's stuff as human beings. We know he has our back, even though some days it might not feel like it. But he'll have our back for anything we need in life. He'll always be there. And it's just a real, sometimes it's like tough love relationship, especially with me. But just I cherish our relationship so much, and I know I can count on him for whenever I want to go chat, go to his office, just literally talk about nothing, and it'll be a great time. But we're super grateful to everyone who commits here, comes to play for him. So super grateful, and happy birthday, Grandpa.
We'll go to Griffin, fourth row on the left.
Griffin Della Penna, Newhouse Sports at Syracuse. Paige, what was it like for you to be back on the floor in this March Madness setting?
Super exciting. Along with what Ash was saying, just a lot of like nerves, a lot of like anxious, ready to go. We haven't played for about 2 weeks, so just ready to get the games rolling, and definitely during the most important part of the season. Just excited to be back out there on the court with my teammates.
Second row on the right, Emily.
Emily Adams, Hartford Current. Ashlyn, when you had that first steal and score in the and one, we saw the reaction from you and from the team. I mean, just what was that moment like, and when did you feel like you really sort of settled into this game today?
Definitely after that play, I felt like I was settled in. I was just going to let the game come to me. Like, I wasn't going to, overthink it, which I typically do sometimes. But, no, today I was like, after that play, I felt like I was finally ready to go. It was just, exciting to just to score on that being, my first bucket of the game. It really gets you involved. So it was exciting.
Third row on the right, Maggie.
Maggie Benoni, CT Insider. Paige, kind of on that same note, what was it like to see Ashlyn just so much rise up, especially in that third quarter in her first tournament game?
Yeah, it was amazing. It's what she and the other freshmen have been doing the entire season. So to come out in a huge stakes game, March Madness game, where it's win or go home, and perform like that on your first time on the stage is really huge, especially getting confidence in what you want to continue to do the rest of the way. So her being aggressive, we need it. Her looking for a shot, we need it. So for her to do it and come out with as much confidence as she did tonight was huge.
We'll go on the left, front row, Vicky.
Vicky Fulkerson from the New London Day. Ashlyn, you talked about this a little coming into the tournament, I think yesterday maybe. What was March Madness like growing up in Indiana? Like what is this tournament like to you? Like Paige has talked about watching it since she was a little kid. Like I'm sure you did also.
Oh yeah, it's huge in Indiana. Since we're such a basketball state, especially how my family embraces it so much. I've grown up watching March Madness since I was little. It's a big deal in my family. We are super competitive with it. Making brackets and everything. This year's a little different because I'm actually here now. But no, it's just it's so surreal to actually finally be a part of it, just because you watch it on TV for so long and you watch games all day long. But to actually be playing in a March Madness game is super cool.
We'll go fourth row on the right.
Natalie Heverin with the Next. To address the elephant in the room, can you just talk about the shirts you're wearing? Who designed those? Did you get to pick the picture on the shirt you're wearing? Just tell me as much as you can about those shirts.
Yeah, so my shirt, we were headed up to Big East Media Day, and my man needed a nap, so he kind of took a snooze, and I took a flick, so we all picked them. Ash, you can go ahead and explain yours.
I think this shirt sums up Coach's relationship with me. This is what he looks like most of the time on the court. But when he yells at me, I'm just starting to translate it into I love you instead of you suck. But so when he goes, you suck, I'm just like, oh, love you too.
Yeah, new translator.
Any other questions? We're going to go to Zoom. We have a question from Brad on Zoom. Brad, go ahead. Maybe not. Sorry, Brad. Brad, you there?
Yes, ladies. How are you? And congratulations on the win. That offensive spark in the first quarter when you went on the 17-0 run. After that, what was your mindset and how that would play out for the rest of the game?
I think after that run, we just wanted to continue to keep our foot on the gas, don't let up. We also know basketball is a game of runs, so staying present in that we want to continue to keep going on this run and not let Jackson State go on a run. But we know that every single game during this time, everybody's playing for their lives, so nobody's going to give up. Nobody's going to just ease off the throttle. So just continue to play our game and continue to do what got us on that run and just staying focused and staying in a moment.
We have time for one more here. No more questions. Ladies, thank you very much. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach? Wow. Pat, up front.
talked a little bit about it in your opening statement, but to have this team get off on that kind of a run, and then to have Ashlyn get her start the way she did, how important was it for you guys to make a statement early in this one and just to get the confidence of this team up early?
Yeah, if you remember wasn't that long ago, obviously, the Providence game at the first game of the Big East tournament, it takes a little bit of time to get yourself acclimated into the game, and sometimes the other team is going to react to whatever's going on. So if you're struggling and they get a little bit confident and they feel really good about how they can attack you and how they can guard you, it has a way of impacting the game. But when you start off the way we did, and Paige, when she starts off like that, it makes everybody feel a lot more confident. They can breathe a little bit easier, knowing that she's pretty much taken control of the game. And Aaliyah, we weren't sure like how she's going to react with the mask back on, and whether or not she's going to be able to feel comfortable with all the contact that was going to happen. And when I saw, how physical she was rebounding the ball and outside of her area, that's when I knew we were okay. Paige was being aggressive. Aaliyah was being, assertive. And I thought we're going to be okay because those two things are kind of what drives us. And we always need one more player to step up. And if it's a couple players, then it's obviously a big win for us. But, Ash, this is what she does. She scores points, and she's comfortable doing it. And I was really worried because, her and KK, they, I think they put a lot of pressure on themselves to be really, really good. And I was hoping that it wouldn't backfire on them, but, that was huge, the two of them playing like that.
Questions for Coach? Emily, second row.
Gina, with Paige, just seeing her back on the floor in the tournament, did you expect her to kind of make the statement that she did today with her first postseason double-double, all of that, and just kind of what was it like to see her back in form?
I pulled her aside yesterday, and we talked a little bit, and I said, I need to talk to you. And she said, okay. I said, what do you think I'm going to talk to you about? She said that I have to take over the tournament, that I have to do what I did in the Big East tournament, and I have to make sure that I'm everything that my team needs me to be. So she kind of said it for me, and that's when I knew that it means a lot to her, because being in the tournament, coming off an injury, and then being in the tournament, missing a whole year, those are her last two tournament experiences. And I know that this was a big, big deal for her, because, she's a forgotten entity in the country, and I think maybe she reminded everybody that she's still pretty good. And, the thing that needs to be said, too, is playing a team like Jackson State, they compete really, 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 really hard, and they seem to get energized even more. The more you score, the more they want to keep playing, and they never feel like we're out of it and we should just pack it in. And I was really impressed with them. I think they're exceptionally well coached, and they're big kid. We didn't know, like, okay, well, maybe she'll I told her after the game, too, man, she played fantastic. She had a great game. Yeah, they were good. And we had to play good. And we had to shoot it great. If we don't shoot it great, okay, that's your scoop going into Monday. If we don't shoot it great, we're going to have a hard time winning.
We'll go to Vicky, front row on the left.
Do you know, for Ashlyn to have that good of a game in her first NCAA tournament game, that, and then like the way she was in here, like this is the most confident that she's been all year, maybe? Is that a really great game for her?
Yeah. Yeah, her confidence is back. She lost it for a while, but it's come back. And I've always said when you're a really good player and you're a really good shooter, you have to be more like Paige. You have to be slightly delusional and think that you'll never miss a shot. And if you do miss it, it's the gods are conspiring against you. It's not your fault, and you shouldn't ever get down on it. And maybe some of that's wearing off on Ash, but she certainly didn't play like a freshman today, and she actually played better today than she has at any practice this week, leading up to the game. So, figure that one out.
Questions for Coach? Right here on the right.
Wilton Jackson, HBCU Game Day. Coach, you talked about in this press conference about the need for you guys to make shots. And so after you get a win like this, what was your message to Coach Reed after the game, especially with the way that women's college basketball is changing and the parity that's, forming in between different programs?
Yeah, I wanted to commend her on her season, going undefeated in your league. I don't care what league you play in. I don't care who you play against. You play, 18 conference games and you win them all, and you win your conference tournament. That's a hell of a job, and it's not like the first time, right? I mean, she's been doing this for quite some time now there, and a lot of these coaches that work like that and have tremendous success and put together great teams and have put together a terrific program, nobody knows about them. They certainly don't get on TV enough, and they certainly don't get enough recognition. And I wanted to let her know that, and that I wanted to I wanted to put myself out there and for her, and I think we need coaches like her to be celebrated, and bigger schools need to not keep recycling coaches that are let go by other Power 5 schools, whatever you want to call them, that they should start looking outside the box a little bit, because there's a lot of great coaches out there, and she's one of them.
We have time for two more. We'll go to Zoom. Rob Knox, what's your question?
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Happy birthday!
Thank you.
In line with that question, I'm going to ask you the same thing. But one of the things I'll write for the next, and I covered the MEAC and SWAC this year. And one of the things, obviously, you've played your share of MEAC and SWAC schools over the years, and lately those programs have started to rise, as you mentioned. But there's always still that lack of respect for those conferences and their schedules and different things. In your opinion, what can be done to maybe help elevate them gaining respect more from maybe the committee with in regards to seeding and or just opportunities?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I do think they suffer from the same thing that a lot of mid-major schools suffer, getting people that are at a high level, getting them to want to play you. It's really, really hard to put together a schedule when you're in their situation, because everybody just wants you to come to their place, and they'll pay you some money to come there, but they'll never come to your place and play. And that's really difficult to get your net, whatever the hell they're using today, to get yourself to that point. And then the teams in your league are suffering the same situation that you're in, so they always play on the road against the best teams, probably lose, and then the reputation is, well, they're good in their league, but they don't compete nationally. And yet I think, Jackson State and some of the other programs have proven that they can go on the road and compete. Maybe not win, but they certainly can compete. And I think getting a 14 seed, when I remember when we were a number 1 seed, a lot of times we played schools from that league as a 16. So I think being a 14, maybe there is some understanding of, hey, these guys deserve it a little more than a team that, won't go out there and play anybody, or a team that finishes with a losing record in their own conference, that gets a 6 seed or 7 seed. So people get rewarded for being in the right conference. Just by being born a certain way, they get rewarded. And teams that are trying to really, really work really hard to build this competitive schedule don't get enough rewards. And maybe this is the start of it, 14. It's not great, but I wonder how they would have done if they didn't have to play us here in front of this environment against the kind of team that we have right now. Maybe next year we'll find out.
We have time for one more. All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you all.